So when we saw the tower collapse,
Yes.
and it cascaded out of the sides with that dust.
Yes, as you can see at the movie, when the tower started to collapse, at first point it scattered some debris. And the next 2 seconds it stopped scattering debris and crashed down and scattered only the dust. So the debris belonged to this zone, which we call damaged zone, and the dust belonged to crushed zone, which is represented by this area. Yes, you can see that in the movie.
We all saw it quite clearly. Is there any other explanation for that dust than what you've described?
But look, how can you transform the 350 meters of the thick steel, which is as thick as a tank armor, into complete microscopic dust? No other process can do that. You cannot do that by thermite, you cannot do it by dynamite, you cannot do it by TNT or C4 or by whatever. It's not possible.
So
It's only the nuclear explosion
when the
can do
official
that.
report tells us that there was a pancaking floor by floor.
Yeah, but did you see any flaw in this? Okay, look at this movie. You see that the top of the tower is crashing down. Can you just notice any flaw?
No resistance.
No.
It falls in 11, 12 seconds.
Yes, it's almost the speed of free fall. It's not almost, it is speed of free fall, because this part of the tower was such a fine dust, which is nothing different than the air.
The Sears Tower in Chicago has been evacuated, and we continue to check on the circumstances there. The Pentagon, the State Department, and the White House have been evacuated in Washington as well. The president has, we can show you now what happened just a few moments ago at the Trade Center. Watch the building to the left.
So is the net effect of what we saw and what we see your proof that that was a nuclear device?
Yes, of course. It was a nuclear device. Otherwise, why they call it ground zero?
Interesting idea. Tell us about, the book expands in some detail, but tell us about ground zero.
Okay. Many people forgot what the ground zero used to mean before September 11. But I think it's a good time to remind them. I had one of the biggest pre-September 11 dictionaries.
Webster's.
Webster's unabridged.
Okay.
And this claims to be, it's really big. 1,664 pages. And probably over 500,000 words, I believe. So let's look what the ground zero mean. No, this is the one. You can look and read it.
I'll read it. Ground zero, the point on the surface of the earth or water directly below, directly above, or at which an atomic or hydrogen bomb explodes.
So,
That was the definition, according to Webster's, pre-9/11.
yes. So does it say that is the place of pancake collapse?
No.
So,
What do dictionaries that were printed after September the 11th say?
you know, after September 11, they were so embarrassed that the former demolition ground of World Trade Center was called Ground Zero, and this name becomes so sticky that it persists up to this day. that they need to change the legal definition of the word in the future dictionaries. Otherwise, the people will doubt it.
So new dictionaries were given a new meaning?
Yes, I have an example. These two are both advanced American dictionaries, but of different editions.
Yes.
And both of them claim to be new, by the way.
Okay.
So let's compare. Let's compare.
I'll look up ground zero in this one.
This is the older one. You see it's black and white, and this is in color.
Okay. I'll look up this one, and you look up that one. Mine says, the old one, the place where a nuclear bomb explodes where the most severe damage happens. And that's according to Longman's Advanced American Dictionary.
Okay, and look at this one.
Now the new color one, presumably this has been published after 9/11, tells me that ground zero means the place where a large bomb explodes, where the most severe damage happens.
So this is
Ground zero, the place in New York City where the World Trade Center buildings were destroyed by terrorists on September the 11th, 2001.
So it's the same dictionary. Okay, let's look at the edition. This one is published in 2000.
And this one is published in
Should be in the
2000
beginning.
and
Should be maybe in the beginning.
this is published in 2007.
Yes, you see? It's the same dictionary. But in here it defines it as a place of nuclear explosion, and this is a place of explosion.
So what your book says, and what you're saying now, is the American government demolished the World Trade Center with an underground pre-positioned nuclear device.
Yes.
And that everybody called it ground zero afterwards, and they didn't want the idea of that referring to the nuclear device, so they changed all the dictionaries to read the place where this happened, a bomb blast, and buildings were damaged in New York. Is that what we're saying?
Yes. You know, the English language itself became a victim of September 11th. They have to reprint the dictionaries. And not only this, they reprinted a lot of other dictionaries as well.
Okay. Okay. But let's just stay with the effects of this pulverization and the dust. Dimitri, this dust, this pulverized dust, is it radioactive?
You are talking about the dust
Yes.
which the tower was...
That covered Manhattan?
No, it is not. Okay, I will try to explain it to you. Many people, they believe that because the nuclear explosion on the World Trade Center was nuclear, then this dust should be radioactive as like a radioactive dust. No, it was not. I explain to you why. During an atmospheric nuclear explosion, when we have that well-known mushroom cloud, what happens? It will suck the dust from the ground level because of the high temperature inside the cloud.
Right.
Okay, and it become radioactive here, and when it cool down, it will fall down. So
Okay.
this is the radioactive dust. But there was nothing like this here, because all the radioactive materials were concentrated inside the cavity, and this dust was just compressed by the pressure wave, so it should not be radioactive, because this was not involved with any radioactivity. It was harmful, of course, for the health when you inhale it, because it was a microscopic materials. But it's just a mechanical damage. It will not cause you anything like the radioactive poisoning, radiation poisoning.
So if some of the dust particles were asbestos and they were inhaled, then you'd have...
No,
a problem from
yes,
asbestos.
if you inhale asbestos, yes, you will have the harmful effect of asbestos.
Okay, but there's nothing
There's nothing to do with
about the
radioactivity,
dust.
no. But what was radioactive in this case is the vapor. Because as I explained to you in the previous drawing, the situation is like this. I will make one more.